Here we have the correct solution from week 1 of the Pirates project, and you can see we've got the rhythm that's been inputted. In this case, I inputted all of the notes on the note C3, and I know it's C3 because on the left-hand side it shows me that. Now, I'm just going to switch my pen tool on so that I can draw some help for us here. And let's first of all just make the C3 a little bit bigger, just because we're going to be referring to that quite a lot. As I go up the screen, I am going up in pitch. So in case you can't see or can't understand the piano keyboard this way round, that next note is a D. Then we've got E, F, G, and in our musical alphabet, once we get to G, we go back to the beginning. So the note above G is A, B, and you can see I've reached C4 now. And then if it continued, it would go up to D, and then E, and then F, etc. Okay. Now the lowest note of my melody from our score is actually this note here. Okay, so the E, that E is the lowest note of my melody. And my highest note of my melody is this D here. So the range that you're going to work within is between there and there. Okay, you won't need to draw notes outside of that range. So the whole melody will fit in between there. Now, if I just switch my green pen on a second, I'll make it a little bit thinner. I'm going to show you roughly where things will fit in. So the first note that we can see on the score is an E. So that's where I'll drag up the E. Now remember, to drag a note in Garageband, you hold your finger down on the green note in the centre, and then you drag it up or down vertically. Be really careful that you don't move it left or right, because you'll move it out of rhythm. The second note, which is also a half beat note, is a G, and it goes here. And you might say, well, how do I know it's that G? How do I know it goes up from the E? Well, it's because when you look at the score, you look at the relationship between the dots on the music. And when the dot goes higher, the note needs to go higher because the pitch goes higher. That's what that means. Now, the next note, or the first note in bar 2, is a 2-beat note, and it's an A. So I'd move it up into that slot there. The 2 half-beat notes at the end of bar 2, I've got, it plays another A, and then in the second half of that beat it goes B, and then when we get to this next 2-beat note, it's a C. So you can start to see the shape of when the notes are moving up or down. Up in each of these cases is the same as on the music, but it's obviously zoomed in or zoomed out. Okay, so I'm now going to move over to Garageband so you can see what it sounds like when I make these. Okay, so now I'm going to edit into Garageband. This is your task for this week. This is what you need to do. So I've just zoomed in. I pinched by moving my 2 fingers that were touching the screen at the same time outwards horizontally. So this first note, I'll hold it down in the middle and move it up to E. The next one's G. And the third note, looking for the green letters on your score, is an A. So that's an A. If you can't see that that's an A because you're not used to working out where the letters are compared to the notes, the black and white keys on the keyboard, it would maybe be helpful to draw them on a piece of paper and have it next to your iPad. You should always be able to work it out by just writing them in the alphabetical order. So here we have C, D, E, F, G, and then it starts again, A, B, like that. Okay, let's move on to the next note. Okay, and we need to go a little bit higher. So at this point I'm going to pinch vertically down just to give myself a little bit more room. Now at each of these points I can also tap in that bar at the top and just put my play line before the melody that I've created and press play, and you should recognise it. Okay, and then it's C, D, B, A, G, G, A. And then it's same as at the beginning. Whoops. Now that happened because it zoomed in. If I hold my finger down, that's what happens. If you hold your finger down too long on a note, it'll show you it in more detail. It's not always helpful, but that's why it does that. E, G, A, B, C. Now I'm doing this pretty quickly, but you might have to keep checking back on the score to check you're putting the right notes. So let's listen to it so far. Okay. Whoops. You just got to be real. Take your time. There we go, and that should be the end of it. Let me zoom out so you can see the finished version, and then listen to it all the way through. Check it's right. Now, I said to you just as we started this that this project is really to give you a bit of a glimpse about what a performance at GCSE using your iPad feels like and looks like. If at this point you've got all of the notes correct and they're in the right order, in the right rhythm and on the right notes, you'll get 100% of the mark for accuracy. Okay, so that's how that works. There's other things that you get marks for on the project, and we'll come to those later. But that's how you complete the week 2 task, and then all you need to do is create a screen recording of this screen playing back your work and upload it to Shobi.